guys. Welcome to the Progressive Vibe. I am your host, Dodrick. Today's date is February 13th, 2022. This is season 6, episode 4. And the title of this episode, News Freestyle. So, what we're going to be doing today is switching it up from time to time. We have previous news freestyles that I've done in the past. If you haven't listened to those yet, feel free to do so. I just wanted to, engage with the listeners of the show who reach out, and we will be sharing some questions and thoughts from the TPVIBE listeners who reached out via email. And again, guys, if you would like to learn more how to reach out to the show directly, I will give you that contact information within the show, so stay tuned for that. But we will be talking about the current state of politics in the United States, so that should be super interesting. We're going to be getting into that in the main show, but before we get into today's show, quick reminders and quick thoughts. I want to say thank you to the listeners of the show for making the show what it is today. I try to share with you guys updates on how the show is doing, whether that's on Twitter or on Facebook. I try to let you guys know the impact that you have, and you have a big impact, not to just me, but of abroad. So I wanted to again say thank you for liking and sharing and personally donating to the show. However you choose to show support to the show, just know that it is always greatly appreciated. Also, the Progressive Vibe is on all platforms. You can listen and get your podcast. So if you're an Apple user, we should be on Apple Podcast. If you are a Samsung user, we should be on Google Podcast, and so forth. So anywhere you can pick up a podcast, the Progressive Vibe should be on that platform. So that's super, super awesome. Also, for the email information that I was talking about earlier, if you would like to get in contact with the show, share your thoughts or ask questions or contact me personally, the Progressive Vibe has a website that you can reach. That's theprogressivevibe.com. Again, that's theprogressivevibe.com. You can get the most recent episodes. You can find those there. You can find a little bit about me, the host, see a picture. And again, there's the contact information on the website. You can put your email in, and you can personally receive updates on how the show's doing, what the show's doing, and so forth. And you can also donate to the show if you like. If you don't want to become a monthly supporter of the show, you can personally contribute to the show to our Cash App, and that's Dottie D92. That's DAHDEE 92. That's if you're feeling free to do so. No pressure on that, guys. Again, I appreciate you for just liking, sharing, and continue to check out the show. That's a big enough deal for me. Last but not least, this podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. If you are interested in making your own podcast, go to anchor.fm.com to learn more and to get started on that. On that note, guys, we will be having the listener questions and thoughts in the main segment of the show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey guys, welcome to the main show. So let's get right into these questions. First question by the TP Vibe listener asks, "What are your thoughts on the future of both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party? Love the show." Well, first off, thank you for loving the show. I appreciate the love. I hope that uh, keep listening. I hope you keep listening and coming back and showing love. Love you too. The feelings mutual. As to your question, I think for both parties are quite bleak right now, and the reason that I use the word bleak is because you have infighting within both of the parties, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. On the side of the Republican Party, you have an infighting between the old traditional GOP and the new Trump Party. The new Trump Party has took over the Republican Party, and it has cost them defeat um, in 2020. It won them the seat in 2016. In my opinion, because they had a corporate. I don't know. They had a corporate ran, Democrat, Hillary Clinton. You know, Hillary's running the past. People want somebody new. People want a new face. And I just think that the Clinton's time has came and has passed. Trump hit all the when in 2016 he hit all the right pressure points. He was talking about how jobs were lost within America, and he's going to bring the jobs back, even though he really didn't do that. But the messaging was there, and he was a different face. He wasn't a part of the corporate elite, if you will. He talked about draining the swamp, all that stuff, and that stuff resonated. So you had a lot of independent voters that broke off from the Democratic Party that voted for the Republican Party when Trump ran in 2016. But now, fast forward, Trump really didn't do a great job running the country. That's just my personal opinion. Maybe people on the show, conservatives that listen to this podcast, may think otherwise. But he really didn't do anything. And on top of that, he had a lot of uh, racist dog whistles. And, you don't have to call people the N word without happening to still, disrespect someone, or you don't have to call, another group of people this this term that offends them. No, your policy choices, the way that you describe different cultures and different people, kind of shows what type of individual you are, and it didn't sit well with a lot of people. Some people, didn't mind that, but a lot of people did mind that, and I think that had a lot to play with him not being um, reelected, on top of his handling in COVID. But um, you got to give Trump his due. He resonates well with the Republican Party, or specifically the Republican voters. And let's just keep it real. He's entertaining. He's entertaining. Um, Something that the Democratic Party could use in the complete opposite way, but they choose not to because they let their corporate greed distract them from actually uh, bolstering progressives within their own wing of the party. But that's my kind of thoughts within the Republican Party. As for the Democratic Party, pretty much the same thing, honestly. Infighting. You have the grassroots movement within the Democratic Party wants something different, wants something better for everyone, which is I totally agree with, and a bunch of corporate politicians within the Democratic Party, um, them on that. Maybe not them, but their donors mainly don't want them to vote on any type of legislation that would make life materialistically better for not just the Democratic Party, but the Republican Party, independents, everyone. Like you don't have to always put a R or a D beside somebody's name. That person is somebody. That person is a human. And if we have the funds, if we have the materials and knowledge to help people, we should. Whether you are on the Republican side or the Democratic side, or you're independent, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the Democrats are kicking their own self in the face, politically speaking. They're kicking their own self in the face because they don't even want to pass the agenda, the president's agenda that they set out for, that he set out for. And as the weeks go on, as the months go on in Biden's presidency, we find out that Biden doesn't even want to pass his own agenda. The progressives of the party were more in line, were more willing to speak up on camera to Joe Biden's own agenda than him and the corporate wing of the party was able to. And it shows that day after day because it's not been passed. Now I gotta give credit what credit's due. I don't want to be all negative Nancy. Biden was able to pass a bipartisan infrastructure bill. Now, a lot of that bipartisan infrastructure bill had a lot of corporate handouts, but yes, it money went to building bridges and roads. And we have a crumbling infrastructure, so yes, that would be helpful in a lot of small towns across the United States. Nobody's not taking anything away from that. But we're talking about there is a homelessness rate within this country that is abysmal, that needs to be addressed. We need to address climate change. We need to talk about how wages, the minimum wage in this country is $7 and a quarter. But we like to talk about inflation. We like to talk about gas prices. And if the Democrats actually walk and chew gum at the same time, they would not only see their poll numbers skyrocket, but you will also have people, independent thinkers, independent voters who would be more inclined to see that you are the more logical party. And what's not happening is they're actually not just talking about what they're going to do, not always having the right thing to say, but actually putting that to action. They're not doing that. And they thought that that was just going to go away. And it's not. And it shouldn't. You can't say what you're going to do and what you want to do to help people. And then when we get into like 2 years of your presidency, you don't do it. Yes, you're going to piss voters off. Yes, you're going to piss independent voters off. Yes, you're going to piss voters that usually voted Republican, that voted for you this time. You're going to piss them off. And you're going to see that your poll numbers, as it shows in the data, are atrocious. They're horrible. And you can't blame this on the Republican Party. You can't blame this on the more left-leaning side of your party. No, you are the party in charge. You are the party in power in the executive, in the House, and in the Senate. And as I've said on previous episodes, the Democrats are in a world of hurt come these midterms. Now, maybe they do something like canceling student loan debt, passing voting rights, something substantial, something impactful, something that's direct to the people. Maybe they'll have a chance to reclaim their spot in the midterms come November. But right now, it's looking like the Republicans going to take over once again. And rightfully so, if the Democrats choose to do what they've been doing. This is a two-party system. It annoys me that you have some people within the party of the Democratic Party who's willing to speak to the issues, who's willing to put their talk into action, and is constantly bashed by the corporate wing of the party. And it looks like it's going to come back to hurt them. So that's what my thoughts on the future of the Democratic Party and the future of the Republican Party. I hope I answered your question. Um, let's move on to the next question. The second question was, have you thought about making a weekday podcast? Thank you for the question. Yes, I have. I want to make sure though that I'm able to maintain maintain consistently a Sunday podcast. Um I think Sunday's a really good day to make a podcast because it's more of a chill day for me. It meets my schedule. It goes with my schedule pretty well. I'm usually working during the week. Um so Saturday or Sunday, I'm usually off work, so I'm more able to have free time and preparate or prepare, excuse me, prepare for the show. Jot notes down, do some research, things like that. But I really do want to make a show on a weekday, maybe like a Wednesday, like the middle of the week, or like a Friday, the end of the week. But only way to find that out is if you keep listening to the show. So maybe, hopefully, I want to do that. Yes, I want to make a weekday show. Thanks for that question. Let's see. All right. So yes, guys. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna take a quick break. I have a couple of more questions to read from the listeners who reached out to the show. Again, thank you for emailing to the show. Um, we're gonna continue to have a news freestyle every once in a while to just engage with the listeners and just thank you for engaging with the show. When we come back, we will have the second half of the show. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey guys, welcome back from the break. So let's get right back into this Q&A. So this is the third question. This is by another TPVIBE listener. It says Democrats don't have any appealing candidates running for president in 2024. I think you're right. It goes on to say, definitely seems like the Republican Party has several options. From your view, who do you think has the best shot for the Democratic ticket? Uh, all right, so good question. And you're right. Democrats, from my knowledge, don't have any appealing candidates running in 2024 as of yet. I would like to say though, it is only 2022, so um, that ticket is 2 years away. But how fast this Biden presidency has been speeding by, it'll be here before you know it. It's so weird that Biden got elected in 2020 and it's already 2022. Um, but as you said, it definitely does seem like there are options for the Republican Party. I would like to think that Ron DeSantis out of Florida is going to potentially run for president. I would like to think that Trump will run again in 2024. Maybe he won't. Maybe he will. I think he will. Um, maybe a Ted Cruz out of Texas will run. That's just some options. I'm hearing now that Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman out of Georgia, she wants to have hopes to run in 2024. I think that would be disastrous, but um, hey, crazier things have happened. But as for the Democratic Party, who I think would be on there, or who I would like to be on there, would be Nina Turner. I think that she would be great. She actually has a race coming up pretty soon. So it's very important that you go to ninaturner.com and show her some love and get her elected in Congress, because she is one of the people who's willing to fight the corporate greed and stand up to the corruption within Washington. And she's a she's a unique soul, because it's not about her, it's about the people. And that's such a rarity in today's politics, where you just have people solely going to Congress to get rich, to continue the status quo, to have the corporations of this country um run everything. And she's just not one of those type of politicians. So I would love to see Nina Turner personally run in 2024. I would like to see Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, known as AOC, run. Uh, but that's just my personal preference. I would like to see Bernie Sanders. But I just know that all these things that I would like to see might not play out. It might will. I don't know, but that's just you know who I would like to see in there. And maybe they don't even want to do that. Maybe Bernie's just like, hey, my time's come and gone. I'm already, you know, approaching my 80s, or I will be about 80 when if I decide to run, in 2024. Maybe he's just like, I don't know if I can go through this again. And I don't blame him. I mean, it's a lot. It's a big process. It could take a lot out of you. I mean, it's politics. Um, I can see why AOC wouldn't want to run. She is a um, of Latino descent, and she's a lady, as well as Nina Turner being a African American lady. All of these type of um, stereotypes and judgments play a part into where people feel comfortable doing something like that, because you have to worry about one's safety and your family safety and your loved ones, and the grueling process of being on the road away from your family and friends and things like that. But you just never know how the tide will shift. Maybe Joe Biden wants to run again. Maybe he's thinking about running again. Um, Kamala Harris. But all I'm gonna say is, I hope I answered your question the best way I can. But I wanted to say one thing on this right here. There's a new day in politics. There's a new day in politics, and we have to stop acting like the things that people are concerned about will go away if you tend to ignore them. They won't, especially in the age of technology, because you can only go so far, say something so far, and it not being brought up again in this day and age. It just is. You have more people who are interested in what goes on throughout politics. Um, and it's kind of hard to put that in a vacuum as it once was, maybe in the 1990s and 80s, 70s, so forth, as in the mid 2000s, because this is a tech based world and people are able to see a lot more so 30, 40 years ago. So I just wanted to have both parties keep that in mind. But again, I hope I answered your question. Very, very good question. The next question by the TP Vibe listener asks, why vote for either party when both don't seem to care about their voters? Yeah, that's a good point. The reason I would say continue to vote is because that's what they want you to do. They want you not to vote. And I'm speaking to both parties here because you have a level of corruption that runs deep within the both parties. And to a significant amount, they don't want section of their voters within either party being able to vote. And so they'll put mechanisms, roadblocks, make you go through jumps and hoops to vote. And that's a good way to silence the people. And we're starting to, or we already have seen this a lot with how the way that we've seen, especially during COVID, how corporations literally run everything. They run everything. And it's been exploited again from COVID because people have realized that they're undervalued. They've been undervalued at their job, in society, and they want to change that. But you're going to have to do that by continuing to be involved in the democracy process. You're going to have to continue to vote, not just on the presidential level, but you're going to have to vote on the judicial level, the municipal, state, local governments. We're going to have to do this thing from the bottom up. We can't just assume or think because there's someone in office who voices all the right concerns. When you get them elected, that's going to answer all the questions. It's going to solve all the problems. It's not. And we're seeing that now to a certain extent with the Biden administration. Because Biden promised things on the campaign trail that he has not lived up to. And I will understand, and I understand why people wouldn't want to get involved, new voters particularly, wouldn't want to get involved in the electoral process because they're like, I got to work today and it's not going to do anything anyway. Even if I vote or not, it's not going to change materially how my life is or my family's is just because I vote. And that's what I'm afraid of. I was looking at a poll and it was showing how the younger generation that's coming up, millennials, which is me, we're all like progressive. We all want better for each other. We all want policies that's been talked about for like years and years, maybe in like different formats, but conducted in the same way for years and years. And nothing has like happened. Nothing. It's been a stalemate within both parties. And you have a collective audience, particularly the young, that want better for their neighbor, regardless of their color, their religion. They just want better for themselves and for others. And I can't wait until we have representation within Congress that reflects on that. Because yes, the more people, the more US citizens who live here in America vote, the better it is for our democracy. It just is. And it's not going to help by, for example, the Republican Party pushing out measures within states to try to suppress voters, particularly in poor and black communities. That's just a fact. But that's why we need representation that's going to put a halt to all that. you know? And that's why it frustrates me with Joe Biden, because you're supposed to be on the side of, you know, we're all under one umbrella. You know, this is a democracy. Well, you have legislators, particularly Republican legislators within these states like Georgia, like Pennsylvania, that are trying to gerrymander and suppress voters. You have to derail that by passing the Voting Rights Act to address those, to put a nail in the coffin on those type of suppression efforts, because it's not right, and it deters people. It deters people from voting and to want to vote. And we got to realize that we got to start making the priority about the people. The priority is for the people. Give people out here that work these public service jobs in the retail industry, in the restaurant industry, construction workers, truck drivers, farmers. Start giving them their fair share. Because not only have they earned it, but they're people just like me and you. They're people that's trying to survive, that's trying to make a better life for themselves, their families, and the people around them. If you start caring about the people on the ground, the grassroots, if you start actually materially benefiting their lives, you're going to find your voter representation higher than when it was. But I hope I answered your question on that. That was a very good question, and to you, the listener who asked that question, please continue to vote. Don't let them take that away from you, even if things aren't as how you planned that you thought they were going to be. We have to keep fighting. We have to keep organizing. We have to keep being strategic. And it's going to pay off. I guarantee you it's going to pay off. All right, let's read this next question. It says, over the past several years of keeping up with more and more politics, listening to your podcast makes it easier to stomach in some ways. How do you keep yourself from getting burnt out? Well, I want to say I'm just humbled that you listening to my podcast makes it easier for you to stomach, because I take no joy within the climate of our politics as much as you do. I can't stomach it either, but I think it's necessary to continue to voice these concerns that we have within our government and around the country, and we try to work to solve that every single day. As for me being burnt out, I have to take breaks. You know, I'm human just like everyone else. I have to take breaks. I do get burnt out. And the way that I try to handle it, because let's be real, it's never going to go anywhere. It's always going to be, in the back of your mind, no matter how far you try to, keep it back there. It's going to eventually come to the front. And I just try to talk to my family, spend time with my family, spend time with, my girlfriend, and we talk, hang out. I like to play video games, so I do that. I'm a big sports guy, so I do watch my fair share of sports. Um, but you have to. I'll go to the gym a lot, so that's one of the things that keeps me um mentally stable within these times that we live in, because it is challenging, and you do have to have certain things that keep you happy, keep you calm, and keep you sane. And we all have different mechanisms that we use to help us channel that. But those are some of mine. Like, I like to exercise. I like to watch sports. I like to play video games. I like to have family time, and I like to, spend time with my partner. So, that's just some of the things that help me keep sane through these insane times. Thank you for the question. I hope you found things within your life to help keep you sane. And I appreciate you again for saying listening to my podcast makes it easier for you to stomach. All right, guys, this is the last one before we go to our social media break of the show. This is actually a shout out from a listener and a great friend of the show. Here's what they said: for my comrades who enjoy listening to political podcasts, I highly recommend checking out the Progressive Vibe podcast. It's run by my friend Dodrick King, and it's super insightful. I've known him for years now, and he's one of the main people I really love, who has helped me stay sane during all of this shit. He worked super hard on it. It has been over a year and a half now. So, yeah, definitely check it out and definitely show some love. Thank you all so much. Thank you for showing the love. I really appreciate that. Thanks for that really, really kind gesture. And again, I want to thank all the listeners of the show who make what it is, what makes the Progressive Vibe what it is. Um, we're going to go far, and we're going to touch a lot of people's hearts. I know we are. We're going to continue to fight the good fight. And things like that is what make me continue to hang in there and you know express these concerns and ideas and just opinions on what I want politics to be about. and what I wanted to be about is the people of this country when it comes down to their needs and making sure that everybody has a um, chance to get an education if they want to. I want to make sure everyone has a decent working wage so people don't have to worry about how are they going to pay this bill, how are they going to pay this, how are they going to put food on the table for themselves or their loved ones, their children, you know, making a more safer and cleaner environment to live in, not just for us, but for future generations. We got to know that we're not going to always be on this earth. You know, it's going to be people after us that has to take the mantle, and we have to get beyond this self-centered type of approach that seems to be in Congress right now, which is just looking out for themselves and keeping the status quo. And as long as you know the progressive vibe has a voice to try to counterpunch that and try to make it known that um, we deserve better for ourselves and our families and our loved ones, then that's what we're going to continue to do here. And it all goes to the support that we have for the show. And I just can't appreciate you guys enough for the impact that you've already had, not on just me, but on people abroad. When we come back, we will have the social media break of the show. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. This is the social media break of the show. It's just where I read from Twitter things that I might have liked and reshared on my page. So this is from Nina Turner on Twitter. She says 76% of Americans want to ban members of Congress from trading stocks. 71% of Americans support Medicare for all. And so she asked the question, so why haven't these things happened yet? Corruption, politicians who care more about themselves than their own constituents. And Nina Turner couldn't have been more spot on because that's what's obviously has took place. Whether that's from the Joe Mansions of the world, the Christian cinemas of the world, or even the president of the United States, Joe Biden, you know, he still has not he still hasn't passed his own Build Back Better agenda. It's his. And you wonder why he hasn't. I guarantee you it's mainly because the people who donated to his campaign, the people who funded his presidential run, don't want that. They rather have the bipartisan infrastructure bill that was passed, and that's it. So, great point by Nina on that one. Let's keep scrolling. Let's see. Bernie Sanders says on Twitter, in the richest country in the history of the world, close to 600,000 people are homeless during the dead of winter. To my mind, that is immoral. And Bernie Sanders is right. It is immoral. We always like to tout that we're the most richest country on the earth. But we have so many homeless people on the streets. Now, obviously, it's more in depth the closer you get to big cities such as Los Angeles, such as New Orleans, such as Atlanta, but that homelessness should not be a thing anywhere. It just should not. And people fail to realize that it is a bunch of veterans in this country that are homeless. People who have fought, who have sacrificed to go to war for this country, and they are homeless. There are veterans out here homeless, but we like to use them as a prop. Politicians like to use them as a prop when they go on TV to potentially gain more votes from their constituents, to make it seem like they're saying all the right things. No, you have to actually do the things that you're going to say. Homelessness for anybody should not be a thing, period. Bernie Sanders also says on Twitter, you ready for a radical idea? Maybe, just maybe, the Congress can begin to represent the needs of the people of this country and not the wishes of the pharmaceutical industry. That part. That's all I'm going to say is that part. We should have more representation for everyday people than what we have currently in Congress. But we have to, again, we have to continue to vote. We have to continue to stay involved, to organize, be strategic, and you know, continue the good fight. And last one here, guys. Let's see. I kind of wanted to end one in the last one with like something like funny or something good. Um, I can't find anything though. My timeline is it's swarmed with political. I'm a political junkie. What can I say? I mean, it just is what it is. Um, but let's see. Last one here, guys. Um, Nina Turner says on Twitter, healthcare for all. Indeed, healthcare for all. On that note, guys, it's going to wrap up the social media break of the show. I do hope you enjoy. When we come back, we will close out the show. See you on the other side. Hey guys, welcome back. That's going to wrap up today's show on the Progressive Vibe podcast. I hope everyone enjoyed today's show. I had a blast as always. We will continue to have the news freestyle Q&As because I really do think it's important to stay engaged with the listeners, and I'm just so appreciative that the listeners of the show continues to stay so engaged with the show. Believe it or not, you guys make the show. If it wasn't for your support and the time that you put in to view the show, to listen to the show, there wouldn't be a Progressive Vibe podcast. And so I always want to make sure that I'm listening to the listeners of the show to hear their thoughts and their concerns of everyday politics in their world. And a lot of this stuff that we go through it together. We're going to continue to go through it together. We're going to struggle together, but we're going to also progress together and hopefully reach a better world for not only us, but the future generations to come. It's bigger than just oneself. And I want to thank the listeners for knowing that it's a bigger cause to all this. It's not just um, about one individual. It's about all of us, and that's what makes us. That's what makes the show it is. So I do appreciate you guys' love and support. We will be back next Sunday with a brand new episode, episode 5. If you want to learn more about the Progressive Vibe podcast, you can go to our website, theprogressivevibe.com. That's to get all the latest episodes, to donate to the show, to learn more about the host, which is me. Um, and yeah, guys, again, if you want to learn more about that, you can go to theprogressivevibe.com. Last but not least, before we get out of here, this podcast was sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. If you would like to learn more about Anchor, or if you would like to make your own podcast, you can go to anchor.fm.com to learn more, to get started on that, guys. Until then, I hope everyone has a great weekend and a great week. We will see you back next Sunday. Until then, stay positive, stay progressive, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love.